It says it's
Yes,
recording.
we did it. We are now recording live.
Yay! Woohoo!
Hey, who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? So it is after 10 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and get started and welcome everyone. Thanks for sharing your name and where you're calling in from. This is the Bossbabes Movement call. So what is a boss babe? A boss babe is a woman who desires a life of time and financial freedom. So let me introduce myself. I'm Sherry Fretz. I've been a real estate agent my whole life for like 40 years. As I was raising my daughter, I missed soccer games. I missed family events. I missed these events to sell homes. Isn't that what you do when you build a career? When I found myself 30 years later, still holding open houses, and now my daughter is married with kids, and I'm missing out on Sunday afternoon swimming and barbecuing, being with my family because I'm still holding open houses. So that's when my best friend shared JuicePLUS, and it just made sense. I was looking for an opportunity to not only make a difference, but have freedom of my time to be in control of my life and have no ceiling on my income. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Bossbabes Movement, women who desire to have a life of time and financial freedom. So let me tell you a little bit about the JuicePLUS company. It was founded in 1970 by a school teacher turned entrepreneur named Jay Martin. The JuicePLUS company has been driven by the same goal since day one, to inspire healthy living around the world. Over the company's 40-year history, we have chosen only to sell products that truly create a real difference in the health and safety of those who purchase them. Whether it was fire detectors that saved people's lives in the 70s, purifiers that clean people's air and water in the 80s, or now nutritional products and food growing systems that enhance people's health and well-being today. Located in Collierville, Tennessee, right outside of Memphis, Tennessee, the JuicePLUS company has evolved from a small direct sales company into a very highly profitable, multi-million-dollar company operating in more than 20 countries all over the world, and now stands in the forefront of the health and wellness industry. So let me introduce to you our very first boss babe from Farmington, Missouri. Julie Powers is a wife, a mom, a fitness trainer. She leads a very busy life. Julie, share with us how you heard us and the impact JuicePLUS has made on your life and your family.
Well, I sure will, Sherry. Thanks for having me here today. And I apologize to everyone because I've already taught 2 Zumba classes today. So thus you get, I tried to fix it. So about 10 years ago, I like to say that JuicePLUS found me. And that's because at the time, my daughter required 24-hour medical care, and I was working full-time. I had a son who was 2 years older than Emma, and let's just say life was pretty chaotic. So the last person on my list to take care of was myself. As most moms know, you're the last on the list all the time, right? But someone sent a friend to talk to me about JuicePLUS, and I told her I had no time to listen to anything she had to say. I didn't have time to read the brochure, and my life was pretty much scheduled from the moment I woke up until the moment I went to bed. But she was persistent, and she reminded me to look at the information, and I did listen to the CD on my way to a doctor's appointment with my daughter one day. And on that CD, I heard about the science of JuicePLUS and that it was actually fruits and vegetables in a capsule. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm never going to eat the right amount of fruits and vegetables. I'm just never going to do it. And so I decided to get JuicePLUS into my body as kind of my my fruits and vegetables insurance plan, because again, I knew I wouldn't do it on my own. So I was very faithful. I was a very happy, loyal customer for 6.5 years. Even after my daughter passed away, I decided I still needed this for myself, not just to take care of her anymore, but I still had a son and a husband and my own health to take care of, right? And so about 6.5 years after I'd been taking the product, I realized after looking back that I had only been on one antibiotic in that time period. And that was very unusual because before I started taking Juice Plus, I was getting sick every year. Sinus infections, strep throat, bronchitis, you name it. I was on an antibiotic at least once, sometimes twice, sometimes 3 times a year. And that was normal, right? That's what everybody had to do. Well, guess what? After 6.5 years of being on Juice Plus, that wasn't normal anymore. I was well. And if I got colds, they didn't last as long. So it was at that moment that I had this aha moment, and I went, why am I not doing this? Why am I not doing this as a business? I could actually help other people get healthy. And so I partnered with the Juice Plus company to have my own virtual franchise. And when I did that, I also decided to jump in and do what's called a complete transformation, which is kind of now what we call the One Simple Change program. But I did all the One Simple Changes at once. And that truly transformed me into a totally new Julie Powers. I used to be a junk food junkie and eat the most disgusting food you could think of, and now I don't. And it's because I flooded my body with good nutrition. I drink the complete shakes. I eat the complete bars. I grow healthy food on my tower garden. And I am a totally different person 3 years later than I was when I started that program. So at 49, I'm healthier than I was at 29. And I will never go a day without Juice Plus ever again. And what I love about my business is that every person I help is another family that gets to have hope and help and options in their life. And then every dollar that I make points back to those people that I've helped. And my paycheck is increasing. And you know what? There are times in life that you cannot anticipate what's going to happen. We didn't know what was going to happen with our daughter. You know, that was a pretty stressful time. And my husband is 11 years older than me. He has some chronic health conditions that we're trying to overcome. And who knows what's going to happen, right? And so I want to make sure that while I am able to contribute to the family's financial well-being now and to my own personal growth and to my friends and family members who I care about, that should something come up in the future where I am supposed to be independently financially stable and sound, I will be, because I have my own Juice Plus company business.
Oh, Julie, thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you so much. What a busy woman, amazing family, and amazing story. Well, next I would like to introduce here in Tucson, Arizona, April Rockhead is also a busy mom and wife and a boss babe. She's already successfully launched one career and now has chosen Juice Plus as her career. April, would you share with us how Juice Plus has impacted your family?
Yes, absolutely. So my Juice Plus journey started 11 and a half years ago. We had a 6.5-year-old son who was diagnosed with pediatric bone cancer. And the way that the hospitals and the doctors hit the children with chemotherapy is mind-boggling. I mean, it was every 3 weeks we were in the hospital. He was extremely sick. He was teeny tiny, constantly vomiting, went to the hospital nutritionists, and their solution was to feed him junk. They said, let's eat cookies and fried chicken and this and that. And my husband and I said, oh, no, absolutely not. We are healthy, clean eaters. Even at the time, both my husband and I love to cook, and there was no way that was going to work. So we got in with an alternative medicine doctor. He sat down and went through our entire menu of how we cook, what we eat. He gave us a couple of suggestions on what to change, but he also suggested Juice Plus, and it made sense. It was, you know what, we're doing everything we can. This is a simple thing to try. So I got home from the doctor's office that day. I called my JuicePLUS representative. She met me at the hospital, his next round of treatment, and we started Danny immediately on JuicePLUS. 3 weeks later, when his counts should have been plummeting, he was increasing. He was doing better. He wasn't vomiting. He had already started gaining weight. Every oncologist at the hospital came to us and said, "What did you do?" The only thing we did was start him on JuicePLUS. And I'll get emotional. I'm happy to tell you that he is now 18. He's thrived, and he's never gone a day without JuicePLUS. 2 years after his treatment ended, we thought that he had relapsed. And one thing that I can share with everybody, and anybody with small children, and Julie, it sounds like you know this as well as anybody, you have to be your child's advocate. And the doctors were ready to put him back in the hospital doing a bone marrow transplant. And Ed and I said, "Oh, no, you're not." We pushed for some more diagnoses. It ended up that he had valley fever, which is a fungus that grows in the lungs. You contract it in the southwestern portion of the United States. He sailed through the valley fever. Again, we doubled up his JuicePLUS. He did great. Personally, 4 years ago, I was diagnosed with microscopic breast cancer. And I had 2 microscopic cancers, both in the left breast, found on routine mammogram. Went through 4 surgeries, trying to get clear margins and get a true ETA of what it was. And doubled up my JuicePLUS through it, stayed doubled up on my JuicePLUS the entire time I went through radiation, and made it through pretty well, I must say. And then most recently, I had a complete hysterectomy. I doubled up my JuicePLUS 2 weeks before I went in the hospital. I stayed doubled up 2 weeks following the hysterectomy. I was off of pain meds within 2 days, and I never once had to take stool softeners because of pain meds or because of the anesthesia. So I can tell you that even when times have gotten tough, JuicePLUS does not get cut from the budget. I believe in the product wholeheartedly, and I believe in the company. So my JuicePLUS business started when my representative came to the hospital, and that representative is none other than Miss Sherry Fritz. And I'll never forget the day that she walked in the hospital room. And Danny talks about this. I laid there or sat there and started crying because I knew we were making a difference. And I looked at Sherry and I said, "Is there a business opportunity here?" And her eyes got big as saucers. And she says, "Why, yes, there is." So even from the get-go, it just made sense. It made sense to put it in my mouth. It made sense to share it with my family of 5. And it made sense to pursue the business. I, like Julie, am looking for some financial freedom. My husband and I own a company, and it's scary. It's scary to own your own company in this day and age. Recently, my husband took over the family budget. That was kind of scary. But what happened is he saw, and he saw, and he asked me, he goes, "Hey, babe, what do you really think you can do with this each month?" And we sat down, we had a discussion. My goal now is to completely fund our health insurance. So I believe in the company. I believe in the product. I thank God every day for going to that doctor and meeting Sherry because it's made a difference. Danny is now 18. He's a senior in high school. And he came to me shortly after his 18th birthday and said, "Hey, Mom, when do I get to start my JuicePLUS business?" So that's going to be our next goal. He's an amazing kid. He does a lot of public speaking. He talks to all of his friends about JuicePLUS and about his cancer. So that's our story.
That's an amazing story, April. Dr. Sears talks about the helper's high. There's nothing better than the feeling of helping someone and their family, and how much fun it is to raise kids up in the JuicePLUS business and have them join your business. I can't think of anything more fun.
Thank you.
Exciting.
I'm excited.
Well, we have two more women, so I'm just continuing on the fun and excitement here. Next is Tori Davies, and she is a young mom. She grew up in the JuicePLUS family, as her mom is also a national marketing director with JuicePLUS. She has a very busy life, a husband, 3 kids, and if I understand right, 1 on the way. So,
Yes.
Tori, we are so excited to hear from you. Share your Juice Plus story with us.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, and I am outside on this beautiful day, and so I hope there's not too much background noise. I tried to go to a quiet spot, but I in this Juice Plus family, and I'm so grateful. I can't imagine my life without it. So 16 years ago, my mom heard about Juice Plus from a lady cutting her hair, and at the time, my little brother was suffering with all sorts of autoimmune issues. He was suffering with allergies, eczema, asthma, and vitiligo, which is where he lost a patch of his pigment, but it was actually on his face around his eye. So there was just so many different things that we as a family were trying to do, and my mom was just, you know, trying to find anything she could to help him. And when she heard about Juice Plus, she knew that we were already kind of considered the health nut family because she didn't buy soda or junk food, but she knew that we still did not get the wide variety of all of those different plants in our bodies every day. So we started right away, not really thinking it would help my brother necessarily, but we noticed a difference the very first day. He just woke up and he was a little bit better and a little bit better. And after a couple weeks, his teachers were asking, what are you doing? You know, he's a different child. And my mom was like, we just started him on these fruit and vegetable capsules, and I'm actually taking him off of his medication. So he was able to get off 7 different prescriptions. And 3 different dermatologists told my mom that his vitiligo around his eye would never repigment and it would probably spread all over. And I'm happy to say that 16 years later, not only has he not dealt with any of those autoimmune issues, but his vitiligo has actually repigmented over 90%. So, so basically I was 11 at the time, and I could not at the time swallow the capsules, which my mom was really wanting us to get the capsules in our bodies. Just with those live enzymes, she knew that that was the most powerful thing we could be doing. And so, yeah, I just really, my brother healed, and I couldn't swallow the capsules, but she was totally persistent in helping me learn to swallow and getting them in me somehow, some way, whether it be opening up, putting in a bite of applesauce, something. So that really made a huge difference and a huge impact from a young age. I learned the power of plants. I learned how my body feels when I eat certain foods. And then that just completely changed the course of growing up and what it would look like for the choices I made, in middle school and then in high school and then in college. And so I'm sure that most of you have heard about the 10-day shred. And if you haven't, ask the person that invited you. But that basically, whenever that came out, that basically is my lifestyle. I just lived the shred, and I just lived that lifestyle. So I've grown up living this mission, and it's just been amazing. So my mom actually brought me to my first conference when I was 11, and I watched people walk the stage and give their national marketing director speech. So when you get to the top of the company, you share from the stage in front of thousands and thousands of people. And I knew from a very young age, I knew at that very first time I saw someone up there that I wanted to be a national marketing director. I just knew it. I was like, these people are making a difference. They're helping people. They're passionate about wellness and this mission to inspire healthy living. And so I even said back then, I was like, I want to be the youngest national marketing director. So fast forward to having my own family, getting married and having my own family. And it really wasn't until I had my 2 children. It really wasn't until my why had grown that I decided to be all in and decided to actually embrace this marketing plan and what it could be for my family. I knew get to the top of the company. I knew that she was a present full-time mom, but she was able to have this amazing full-time residual income, and she was able to have a corporate benefits package for our family. So I just thought that was a win-win. That was just the best of both worlds, to be able to be home with my children, but also able to provide this amazing options for my family. So yeah, after I had my second, I was at an event and I just really decided that I had this amazing vehicle that was just basically sitting there waiting for me to utilize. So I just want to emphasize what this is. When I say this vehicle, this is the most researched, the largest selling. It has a food label and NSF certification. They provide free JuicePLUS for children. It's media driven, so the media is already telling our story. It's doctor recommended. It's used by Olympic athletes. It's a part of the wellness industry. It's global. It's product driven. It's consumable. There's innovative products. It's only $50 to get started. There's no inventory, no territory, no quotas. All positions are permanent. It's a $10 billion company and a 40-year-old company. It's not a buyer's club. It's a small product line, so I don't have to memorize a whole catalog. It allows the opportunity for residual income, exponential growth, time freedom, and unlimited potential. So this is really, truly the vehicle that all of us have sitting in our laps. And for me, I went to that event and I walked away and I just said, it's time. It's time to, it's like the green light went on and I just decided to put the pedal to the metal and really, make sure that what I wanted in my heart, I was actually doing every single day to make it happen. And so our team reached the top of the company in a year, and it just really has opened up opportunities that my heart is just bursting when I think of my family. And my husband was able to step away from his full-time family practice and pursue finishing his functional medicine, finishing this program in functional medicine. And that has allowed us, now we just moved to Cleveland, Ohio. He's at the Cleveland Clinic, kind of working with some top doctors doing functional medicine here. And there's just cutting edge research going on that functional medicine, which is really just, getting to the root of the problem and not just treating symptoms, which is what we're all about here in this JuicePLUS family. We're just really hopeful that that's going to be the future of medicine. But I know that as a national marketing director, having him, it just allowed him to step away and not, I provided the full-time income and the corporate benefits package while he was finishing this functional medicine program. And I could go on and on with just the opportunities that it's given us. But now I'm able to be home with my children. I homeschool at home, and I'm just, able to have flexibility. And my favorite part is just the stories that come out, of what I get to do every day. I mean, the stories are so powerful that if you took everything else away, those stories are incredibly rewarding. And just hearing other families and being able to give other families options and making a difference in the lives of so many others is just absolutely priceless. So I'm so, so grateful that I get to be partnered with the JuicePLUS company, and I can't imagine a better way to spend my days.
Oh, you are so giddy and raising a young family. Thank God you have the energy.
Yes. Actually, I am pregnant with our fourth, and I'm more grateful than ever before for the capsules, because in my first trimester, I was really having food aversions to pretty much everything. So the fact that I got over 50 plants in my body, just from the complete and the capsules every day, it totally saved this baby and allowed this baby to have nutrition even when I couldn't eat much at all. So
that's so exciting. Grateful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You said something that spoke to me personally, in that you built your business in the St. Louis area, but now you're in Cleveland. I was a real estate agent in St. Louis, Missouri, spent $1,000 a month for a year on marketing materials to get my first listing and buyer in the Central West End, only to move with my husband to Arizona. And that time, that money, that effort does not transfer from state to state. And your business transferred easily, seamlessly.
Absolutely, especially now because we use so much technology. We use a great, using Voxer, this awesome walkie-talkie. I feel like I get paid to just talk with my best friends all day on a walkie-talkie. And
Yeah.
with Zoom, it's just amazing that no territorial restrictions. So, and this company is in, I think, 23 or more countries all over the world. So it is, it's incredible.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing. We're so excited for you. So
Thank you.
without further delay, last but not least, Phoenix, Arizona, another young mom who is a boss babe, Stacy Zacher. And her background, I know that she's a RN. I know she's a mom of 4 boys. And Stacy, would you please share with us how the JuicePLUS has impacted your life?
Yes, absolutely. It changed my whole life. But first of all, April, Julie, Tori, your guys' stories, I love hearing those. Your stories, those kind of stories are the reason I am where I am today. Because as a registered nurse, by joining this company, when I hear those stories and how you can really make a difference, you just can't keep your mouth shut, and you just keep sharing and sharing, because you're like, oh my gosh, plants, you guys, not medicine, plants work. So my whole journey started, 13 years ago. And at the time, I was going to nursing school. I just graduated nursing school. I played softball at Florida State at the same time going to nursing school. I was sick all the time. So Julie, my story is about the same with you. I thought it was normal to be sick all the time. I was tired all the time. I lived off of caffeine and Taco Bell. Like, I just think, oh my mercy. And I wonder why I had 4 surgeries by the time I was 21. My body was just done. So when I moved home, I had joint pain already. I had sinus infection after respiratory infection, just always something. And I was always tired all the time. And my mom introduced it to me, and it was a no-brainer. Like, I jumped on it right away. Fruits and vegetables in capsule, like, you don't even think about it, you just get on it, So once I jumped on it, I don't even know when it was. I just remember all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I haven't been sick in like forever. And joint pain, I remember somebody was complaining about joint pain. When I talk about joint pain, if anybody's on here, after you've had surgery, you're like a weatherman, because you can tell when the humidity's changing and all that, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, ouch, And all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, all my achy joints are gone. I know that's horrible at the age of 23 to think you have achy joints, but I can't even tell you how many people that happens to, that I talk to these days. So that started the whole journey. I also decided to join the business at that time, but was not actually interested in really joining the business to have a business. It was more like, if I love anything, I'm gonna share it with somebody. So I knew I would, but I was more interested in my career, becoming a nurse at the same time. So I just did that, and I would start being educated. Again, I didn't know the power behind nutrition. You're not taught that in nursing school. You're taught about meds. You're taught about, medicine and, how to fix this and this, but nothing about meds, okay? Nutrition. So when I would start going to the different doctors that came in town, it like blew my mind. I'm like, I had my whole bachelor's in nursing, and I'm like, none of this was about kale and all this. And then I noticed I worked ICU first, and then I went high risk OB, and then just OB after that. And then the regular OB became high risk because everybody's sick now. Tons of gestational diabetes, preeclampsia. So what happened is my passion over time just grew, that I couldn't shut my mouth. Like, I literally I'd go into a patient's room. He was like between 23, 26, I forget. And he was putting eye drops in his eyes, and he had macular degeneration. I just thought he had dry eyes. And he's like, no, I have macular degeneration. I'm like, what? That's something your great-great-grandparents get, not a 20-year-old, So these are things that literally would drive me. Well, also what happened is I had 4 kids in 5 years. So I had a 5-year-old, 5, 3, 18-month, and a newborn all at once. Like, it was just like quick, and working full-time. So if anybody here works full-time, knows how stressful that is to get everybody out the door to be at work at 7 a.m. Like, I just remember waking up like, hurry, get him. Of course, they're screaming, because at those ages, they're not like, yes, Mom, please let me get in the car and take me to childcare. That doesn't happen. So, and they always say, breastfeeding's so precious. I'm like, no, hurry up, pee, grab the next kid, throw him in the car, and then rush him to childcare, and then rush the baby to my mom. And And so just to get to work and then slide my card in, I was like, oh my gosh, like I still have 12 more hours that day, and then I have to do it 3 more times that week. And I was just like, it was just getting me. You know, I loved what I did, but I also missed being with my kids. Like I wanted my income, but I wanted to be with my kids. And then again, this passion's growing. So I just started brewing in my head that I'm like, oh my gosh, like I want to make a difference. And that's why I became a nurse. But what I found is I'm able to make even more of a difference by sharing fruits and vegetables in a capsule, actually more than I make a difference at the hospital. It was the craziest feeling. And so what happened is, it started working through my head. I was like, oh my gosh, I want to stay home, but I never wanted to just 100% stay home, because at the same time, my mom was a stay-home mom that was only about us. Her whole life was just ranged about us, pick up, drop off, whatever. And she lost herself in that. So I really wanted everything. I wanted my financial, and my own thing, but I wanted to be that mom could be at anything, field trips, sporting events, practice, just all of that. So what was awesome is I found, I'm like, I can do this. I can have the financials. I can be home with my kids. I can do everything I want. What they always say, like, have your cake and eat it too. I'm like, you can have it, And so I got to retire 3 years ago from the nursing field to stay home with my kids. And now I just bought my dream house. I can pay all the bills on my own. My husband makes great money too, but I don't have to have him. If something happens to him tomorrow, I can take care of all of our bills. I have a full benefits package with this company, which I couldn't retire from the hospital if I didn't have that. So full benefits package, college tuition reimbursement for me, my kids, Christmas bonus. And I always laugh at the Christmas bonus because at the hospital, again, you work your tail off at the hospital. And I love being a nurse. I love being a nurse. But our Christmas bonus is, hey, you get to work Christmas and maybe Thanksgiving, if not, one or the other. And we're going to, have a turkey here, and you have to guess the weight of the turkey, and whoever guesses the weight gets to keep it. That's how that was our holiday bonus. And I'm like, are you kidding? And so now just to think of $1,000 that I get to spend on my 4 kids and others, it's just, it's such a blessing. So now, so I'm so blessed about this business, but even more, now my next one is to retire my husband, to live a life that people could only dream of, both of us home and playing together, doing this together. And my kids, this is the best part, is because this business, it's taught my kids to dream. Oh my gosh, like listening to them, they want to do this business. They asked my husband during the summertime, they're like, hey Dad, when do you get off for summer break? And he's like, oh God, that hurts. He doesn't have summer break, but he's going to. We're going to fix that. And so they're like, Mom, we want to do what you do, because you just hang out with your friends and you share fruits and vegetables. I'm like, I know, right? I'm like, which one's smarter? But it has been the biggest blessing in the culture and the community and everybody on here. You can just see that it's the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. So, but yes.
Oh, Stacy, you're so much fun, so full of energy. For you, Tori, oh my God, I can believe how busy you are with raising families. I have the privilege now of being grandma, so I get to send them home. I just want to thank everyone for being on the call. I want to thank our 4 speakers for sharing their passion, their life, their journey. I'm definitely a fan of helping families get healthier, retiring moms to stay at home and raise their children, and then what the heck, let's go and retire Dad. So if you have any questions at all about the JuicePLUS company, everyone on live today, or I'm going to be giving you the recording so you can share this with everyone you know so that we can make a difference. Please just ask the person that invited you about fruits and vegetables in a capsule, about being a boss babe and creating a life of time and financial freedom. So everybody, let's say goodbye and thank our speakers. Yay!
Guys, that was fabulous. Loved it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sherry.